stacks of books. Whew, got our work cut out for us. I brought a rag to help dust everything off. These need to be brought back to life. Okay, so in the KonMari show, she goes through and she wakes all the books up. Knock some life back into them. Okay, so hello you guys. So I am going to go in with another KonMari declutter today. Already, that was a lot. So, and this is a lot. This is like a lifetime of mine and Trey's books. Although I feel like for 7 and a half piles, it's quite a bit. So right now I'm actually reading Game of Thrones. You know why. And I love it. It's incredible. I am like 20 pages from finishing. I'm in this danger zone of don't talk to me. You know, whenever you feel like whenever you're reading a book, I typically read at work, and whenever you're in that last 20 pages, it's like, hi, can I help you? No. So, definitely not getting rid of this one. I'm going to be splitting things up by like, this is Trey's book, and I don't want to get rid of Trey's book. I'll let him go through his things, but I wanted to get them all out and see them all as a whole. I've loved books, so this is probably one of the hardest categories other than sentimental, because really for me these are sentimental items, so honestly I should probably scoot this to later, but they're all out now. I'm going back. So going to go through and get started. Thank you for watching, appreciate it. And a lot of things I'm going to also be splitting up into things that maybe I want to read but maybe don't have the chance to quite yet, but they're going to be in like this middle zone. I see that a lot with like makeup declutters, of people put things in like this waiting zone of let me see if I actually really like this. If it does bring me joy, then I will keep it. So there will be a little bit of a holding zone before I get rid of some of these, because I just really would like to read them. And there's some books where I haven't read after quite a long time, and it's like, you know what, I'm probably not going to ever read you. So journals and things like that I'm going to be putting in another section in the paper part of this video. I may combine that with this video. Let's see what happens. See how long this takes. Also kind of nice because I'm about to finish my Game of Thrones book, so I would like to find another book to read, whether or not that be Clash of the Kings or A Clash of Kings. So I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to move on with this one and keep the ball rolling, because it is a big chunk of series, so I may just want the momentum that I have, or if I want to take a small break and read something else real quick in the meantime. Oh my goodness, so this is such a well-loved book. It's Where the Red Fern Grows, and I actually would get to the very end and I would stop reading. I think I've tried to read this 2 or 3 times and I've just never finished, but it's lost its cover. The binding is all worn out, so I think this one is just such a sentimental item that I think I have to keep it, and it's my sister's book too. Like, she read this. I'm pretty sure my dad has read this too. And we're really bad about breaking the bindings of books. So I think we'll have to keep this one for sentimental readings, meaning sentimental reasons, not sentimental readings, but I guess they are. So I would also like to actually go through and fully finish this book because I have not yet. So keep, gently keep. This is a really hard one because it is all of my scripts, not necessarily from shows I've done, but Dear Evan Hansen, which I still have yet to read, and I don't know fully the story. I know some spoilerly bits, but I'd like to read that one. And then I have The Hobbit, which I was in, this specific one adapted by Edward Mast. And so it has all of my like highlights in it, and then I did some monologues and scenes. I did a scene from Sylvia and a scene from Bad Seed as well with one of my lovely friends. Then I have One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which was a script that we had to read in class, and it doesn't necessarily bring me joy because it's such a tough story. I think this one just may have to go because it does not bring me joy. I mean, I love the script itself, but on my bookshelf, I think it's gonna have to go despite my love for the story. I think my pile of like to be determined is going to be much larger than my actual keep pile because there's so many books that I have not read. Yes! Can't get rid of these. I think that I got this for my 19th birthday. It was my freshman year of college, and I had piecemeal read the books, but my family got them for me for my 19th birthday, and now I'm 22! So, unpopular opinion, I love the Twilight series, and I reread them. Like, I think I've reread them, I've read them all the way through twice now. But it's just something that I love, especially during the summer whenever you have like maybe a bit more time, or you're just sitting outside and it's all warm. And it's just such a like transportational, I don't know if that's a word, book series, and I absolutely love it, and it makes me feel like I'm in high school again, not in like all the bad ways, but in the like good ways and like the really sentimental ways. And so I'm definitely going to be keeping this series, and I also really love rewatching the films. I have like a whole bunch of like signed copies. I looked to death for a signed copy of The Fault in Our Stars, and I ended up finding it, and I found a whole like bushel of copies, and so I ended up getting a signed copy with a Hankler fish. Also, so far in our keep pile we have about 40 books, and I have no clue how many in the get rid of. I find a lot of duplicates, which oddly enough. So here we have all of the books. These 3 stacks here that I am going to just look at and try to read again, or just read in general, and then see if I actually like them and if I want to keep them. And then I have 4 stacks there that I'm keeping, and 2 small ones back there. A lot of those are like cooking books. A lot of those over there are textbooks. Still haven't sorted them out fully. I will do that whenever they go back on bookshelves. And then here is Trey's little section here that he needs to go through. I think he has more books than he thinks he does. Of course, not as many, like, what am I to say? But he's like, oh, I think I only have a handful of books. But I think he actually has a good little stack there. They're not very neatly stacked because it was behind me. And then here's my little measly, like, getting rid of stack. I really enjoyed this book, but I have read it and I might offer it to somebody else to read, but I just think it's like I've finished like my time with it. I had 2 copies of this. I had 2 copies of this as well. I loved this book, but I just don't know if I'm going to reread it. And then I think also because I have the film, I really enjoyed the film as well. So, of course, I explained that one. This book was so good. Well, okay, the musical of Wicked is so good. I appreciate that we had this book. I appreciate that I read this book for the inspiration of it, but I did not enjoy it as much as I enjoy the musical. I already have a full set of this. This I know ends very sadly, so I just don't think I'm ever going to read it. I watched the film and I love Rachel McAdams and Channing Tatum, but I just did not enjoy it that much because it's very sad. This is a leadership book that I just don't feel like reading. This textbook I just didn't really enjoy. I enjoyed the class itself, but I did not enjoy interpersonal communication. And so this was a Bible study that we did whenever Trey and I like were together for like a year or so, and it was really great, but I just think for me, I'm going to get rid of it, but I'll see if Trey wants it. These books I read with my dad growing up, so I'm going to offer them back to him. I was in a time that like he was in the military and like was having to leave and be away from us for a while. So I'm going to offer them back to him, see if he wants to keep it in like his little set. Another book that I absolutely loved, but I loved the film as well. So these are those little books. I liked the story of the Odyssey, but did not enjoy the process of reading that, so that can go. I don't really ride horses, but I love it, and so this is gonna go. So this is another one of those books. And then Inheritance I'm going to pass on to somebody that will actually maybe have the whole series instead of somebody who only has the one-off book.